Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is part 9 of how I married a man that didn't exist. So if you're seeing this for the first time, that means you need to go back. The playlist should have been in the description. So go find the playlist. Start from part 1 because you need to. This is an interesting story. So for those of you that are up to date, let's get right into the story.
Part 9 of how I married a man that didn't exist. This is probably going to be my last upload for the morning. I do have to go to work. It's going to be a long day for me. I'm going to try my absolute best to get a few more videos out today. It may be difficult, so I'm not going to be pumping them out today like I was last night, just a heads up. So he and his daughter had made it to Fort Lauderdale with my new cat, and the first night they got there, it was late because I had been at work. And at that time, my second job that I was working in the rehab, I didn't get off of work until after midnight. So that is around the time that they arrived at my house, so they wouldn't just be, chilling without having anywhere to go. So we got in. And at this point, I don't remember if I had to work the next day. I don't even remember what day this was that they came. So we get in and get settled, and I take the new cat inside, trying to get her settled in because I do have another cat, and he is just not very friendly. So I was like trying to get them acclimated. I was showing his daughter around. We got their stuff set down, and I made up the couch for his daughter to sleep on. I had a really, really nice couch then too. Like, I slept on that couch sometimes. It was so big and so comfortable. I loved my apartment I had in Fort Lauderdale. So we ended up going to bed, and the next day we were just hanging out, and then I took his daughter to the grocery store to let her pick out whatever she wanted. I am a single person, I live alone. I don't have food in my house really, and especially not anything geared towards kids. So we went grocery shopping. I let her pick out whatever she wanted. I had asked them what they wanted to eat for the week so I could cook for them. And I let her pick out candy and toys, and you know what, I was having a ball. I was like, I finally have somebody to spoil. And one thing I'm going to say about these girls is they were so respectful. They were so sweet and so nice, and they appreciated every single thing that you do for them. So it could be going to Walmart and picking out candy, and she was so grateful. And in the candy aisle, she would put like 1 or 2 things in the cart, and she goes, okay, that's enough, I'm okay. I said, no, like, get more, get whatever you want, you're gonna be here for a week. And she goes, no, nice. I don't want to spend all your money, I don't, this is good, I'm happy with this. So she was just,
Thank God for the influence of their grandma. I'm sure it's because of their grandma they are turning out like this. Because left for that man, I don't think he has any strength to even raise anybody. He has not finished raising himself. So what time does he have to be raising children? I'm sure that's why he's not bothered. At this point, the mom might as well adopt all of them, him inclusive, because he can't even take care of
super humble at 10 years old. The one thing that she did do was say, can I get some things for my sisters too? And I thought that was super sweet. I said, of course you can. So we're having a great time. This little girl really liked to bake, so we got stuff to do some baking with, and we ended up going home. At this point, he had fallen asleep on the couch, and I started to really realize the gravity of his drinking. So he did bring alcohol with him, and it was the Fireball, and it was the big bottle, and I'm almost positive he came with that damn gray cup. So we eventually had a long conversation about that, and he came clean. He said, listen, I've been having this problem with alcohol ever since the ex that he lived with that kicked him out. He said, I was sober at the time, and then when I moved in with her, she was doing like Molly, and she was drinking pretty heavily, and her father and the brother would drink, and I just started drinking over there. And then he started to tell me about this like severe anxiety that he had, and he would wake up in the middle of the night in a panic. He wouldn't be able to breathe. And at this point, I did notice that he was up super early in the mornings. I'm talking like getting up at 3 and 4 a.m. He told me that he had PTSD from prison, that some really terrible things had happened, and he was
Oh, my this thing is not working. Thank God. Start now. I just take it back a bit.
struggling very much to deal with
Let
that,
me take this,
and that he had
guys. I
never
was
really
interrupted. Sorry, I was interrupted. Let me take it back a bit so that.
very much to deal with that, and that he had never really dealt with the death of Jay. So he was telling me that he has slipped into this drinking habit, that he was trying to get it under control. He did make comments like, if you want to leave, you can, like I would understand, you shouldn't have to deal with this. And
Manipulation. Emotional manipulation. Ah,
we know what that is. We know that that's manipulation. And
yes.
in that moment, obviously I didn't know that. And it was more of a, oh, he's being honest with me, he's being vulnerable, he's telling me his struggles, and now he's being open and honest with me after we had the conversation. I thought this conversation had just worked a miracle. Why? I'm not going to leave you. Like, we can work through this together. And I thought I could do something about it. I thought that I was going to be able to make a
And this is the problem we women oftentimes have. We think we can fix men.
difference somehow. So he was drinking a lot, and I saw that when he came to visit. I didn't get to see that so much over the weekend because it was a short amount of time, but they were staying at my house for an entire week. So naturally, I saw how much he was going through. At this time, he did have some money. It didn't last long. So at first, he was buying things for himself. As far as anything for the house that I would buy, food, snacks for him during the day, I bought all of that. You're a guest in my home. I'm going to make sure like you have things in the house that you need. So the days were passing, and we were having a great time. I had taken his daughter to a little petting zoo, and he was supposed to go with us. I had to go to work that day, and I was really upset because he was telling me that he didn't feel well, he was sick, and I remember being super annoyed because I'm like, we were supposed to be doing this together. First of all, I hadn't taken his children anywhere by myself, and I was annoyed that he had drank so much to the point where he just really didn't feel good and he couldn't go with us. And he was very apologetic about that. I do remember texting his mom throughout the week and giving her updates, sending her pictures. Me and the little girl were baking. We were doing all these fun things together. So, come the evening time, I had to be at work at 4 p.m. Did I put my lashes on backwards? I remember I had to be at work at 4 p.m. So, I would go to work. But I had security cameras in my house. So occasionally I would just pop in and look to make sure the little girl was okay, to make sure the cats were getting along, because I had just introduced a new cat into the house. And nothing much was going on. The little girl was playing on her phone, or she was watching TV, either in the living room or in my bedroom. And he was just kind of chilling on the couch. So he was watching, he liked to watch these YouTube gamers, whatever. He was doing a lot of that. He did do some chores around the house while he was there. Like, he would take the trash out. I think that he, like, maybe washed the dishes one day or something. But I remember one day, and he knew I had the security cameras there because we were talking back and forth through the security camera one day. I was talking to the little girl like she thought it was funny. It was just like a funny moment. So one day I'm at work and I'm looking at my security cameras and I see him kind of like looking over at it. It was in the kitchen on top of my fridge. He was in the living room, direct contact with the camera. It was like an open space. And I remember he like pulled his phone out of his pocket and he kind of looked at it and then he would put it down. And then he would look at it and then he would put it down again. Maybe he would like text or type into his phone or whatever, and then he would put it down again. And then I remember seeing him pick up the phone and look, and then he got up, he was looking at the camera, and then he went into the hallway, either to the bathroom or the bedroom. I did not have a camera in my bedroom at this time or in the hallway. So I didn't exactly see where he was going. I had a little twinge in that moment. My intuition was telling me that doesn't feel okay. Like something feels a little off. But once again, I had no reason not to trust him and his phone at this point. I'm not going to say him because obviously he's lied. But it felt a little off. Let's go ahead and get into part 10.
Hmm. Hmm. But I will say it's actually scary because they were moving fast, and this one is not even a healthy fatness. That man had something up his sleeve, because why is he okay bringing bringing his daughter into her life already? I don't know. I'm not comfortable with that. Of course, it's a done deal, but we shouldn't be able to. We shouldn't be comfortable bringing in his. Comfort to me, he's still a stranger in a way. She's still getting to know him. She doesn't really know so much about him. No, going to the house, inviting me over to come and stay in her house, and she's leaving them in the house. That's too much risks to take. Well, guys, I'll see you in part 10. Don't forget to like and subscribe.